Chapter 83. A Song, a Psalm of Asaph. O God, keep not you silence, hold not your peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, your enemies are in an uproar, and they that hate you have lifted up the head. They hold crafty converse against your people, and take counsel against your treasured ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, against you do they make a covenant. The tents of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, Moab, and the Hagarites, Gebal, and Ammon, and Amalek, Philistia, and the inhabitants of Tyre. Assyria also is joined with them. They have been an arm to the children of Lot. Selah. Do you unto them as unto Midian, as to Sisera, as to Yabin, as at the brook of Kishon, who were destroyed at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb and Zeb, and like Zabal and Zamun, all their princes, who said, Let us take to ourselves in possessions the habitations of God. O my God, make them like the whirling dust, as stubble before the wind, as the fire that burns the forest, as the flame that setteth the mountains ablaze. So pursue them with your tempest, and affright them with your storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek your name, O Lord. Let them be ashamed and affrighted forever. Yes, let them be abashed and perish, that they may know that it is you alone whose name is the Lord, the Most High over all the earth. All right, let's go back up to verse 1. Now today we have a song. This is a psalm of Asaph. This is a little song of the gatherer. And this is what I would call a song. Here we're going to find now that Asaph is drawing some distinct parallels between some of these stories, and you're going to have to go check them out for yourself. We've covered most of them. We should always be covered over and over and over. There's always a little more to learn, and we will find that out as we go over everything. But Asaph's showing us these paradigms, or these models of what's going to happen. It's going to just continue over and over and over. We'll find out it's all the same, only the names have changed. We're going to pick it up here in verse 2. O God, keep not you silence, hold not your peace, and be not still. O God, Elohim. You may excuse some of my earlier pronunciations. It's Elohim. Keep not you silence. Don't hold your peace, Lord. Don't just sit there by, but we'll find out God's sitting there. He's waiting on you. He's waiting on you to turn. See, you're the one we're waiting on. Don't hold your peace and be not still. We'll find out God's going to rise up. God's going to come forth. As soon as we call for him in help, we're going to have these several examples here. When the children were taken into captivity, they cried unto the Lord. The Lord said, I'm right here. He's waiting. 3. For lo, your enemies are in an uproar, and they that hate you have lifted up the head. For lo, behold. Look and see, and it's in the world today, the same thing, the same example we got going on here. Your enemies are in an uproar. They that hate you have lifted up the head. They that hate you have lifted up the head. Those that come against God, those that want to strive against God's understanding, it's all about, we don't have to be jealous of anybody who receives understanding from God. Nobody's trying to hold nothing over your head. God wants you to understand too. God wants you to have knowledge too. And be making examples all through time. But it's all about jealousy. Everybody's always jealous for some reason or another. God had to get it in the earth somehow. We're going to find that out in the long run. It had to come somewhere. There has to be a breach. There has to be a breaking forth of the waters. It had to happen somewhere. It had to happen in somebody. 4. They hold crafty converse against your people, and take counsel against your treasured ones. And this is what they do. They hold crafty converse against your people, Lord. Crafty converse. They manipulate understanding. They think about it. They have conspired with these crafty thoughts, crafty devices of destruction, devices to destroy. The intent in the heart is to trick. And they take counsel against the treasured ones. These are the ones God used. He sent with the word. He gave the word, and he's making an example of so everybody else could see. God sent a witness. God sent a servant, and everybody just wants to slap him. 5. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. They have said. Well, we'll find out in the long run. Men just don't have the power that it takes to get the job done. See, they don't have the strength. They don't have the power. But they do say, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. Let us destroy them from being a nation. Why? We won't have to be accountable for sin then. Then we can do what we want. We'll find, see, no you can't. No you can't. No you can't. You don't get to do what you want. You're wicked, evil, your understanding's the ignorance of man. Trapped in it, pulled up in it, roped off, tied down, stalled up in the prison house, however you want to look at it. It's all the same thing. God contains you. He don't let you have no more understanding than that. You could be dangerous if you had any. You'd use it against people. That's just documented fact, and that's what all the nations do. We'll find out. They try to take over God's understanding. It just don't work because you can't manage the reins. You can't handle it. 6. They have consulted together with one consent. Against you do they make a covenant. They have consulted together with one consent. They all working together. Conspired together. Planned together the one purpose, and that's to bring it all down, to destroy the name, the house, the knowledge of God. And against you do they make a covenant. Against God. God said you can't make no covenants, nobody else. He says you make a covenant with me, that's it. That's the end of it. You don't make no covenants with nobody else. I believe it's one of the statutes there. You can find it for yourself, but it is. God said, you shall make no covenants with these in the land. Why? God already had a covenant with them. 7. The tents of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, Moab, and the Hagarites. The tents of Edom, that's Esau, the tents of Edom, the red, the blood. That's those that show the sin, that actually do it. They are more like the animal, I should say. And the Ishmaelites. Ishmael was the son of Hagar. She was the wife of Abraham. When Sarah couldn't bear, she gave Hagar to Abraham. But the Ishmaeli are those that can hear God, those that hear the mighty, those that have heard the mighty, when you might say. Moab, we know who Moab was. Moab means from her father. He was the incestual son that was born from Lot and his daughter, and the Hagari. The Hagari are all the other sons of Hagar that Abraham sent in all the east and throughout that land with his understanding as well. Hagar, after Sarah died, Hagar returned unto Abraham and bare him many more sons 8. Gebal, and Ammon, and Amalek. Philistia, the inhabitants of Tyre. Gebal. Gebal is that, means the hills, those things that are lifted up. The nations. Ammon, that's all the nations. Ammon is the other incestual son that was born from Lot and his daughter. Amalek. Amalek. Uh, Amalek are the valley dwellers. These are the ones that come up behind Israel when they was coming up out of Egypt and slew the sick and the weak and the old. They couldn't handle anything else. Amalek, the valley dwellers. Valley dwellers are those that dwell in low places. Those that dwell in low places are the netherworld, we could say, those that dwell below. It means one thing. Base people, these ones that base understanding, they have no knowledge of God, they have no understanding. They don't seek it out, they don't look for it. Philistia, with the inhabitants of Tyre, and Philistia. Philistia would be the Philistines. These are the drifters. These are some of the sons of Noah that drifted off years and years ago, the Philistines. They with the inhabitants of Tyre, and Tyre was the rock. Tyre means the rock. Great merchant city. We'll find out. Assyria, that great, also is joined with them. They have been an arm to the children of Lot. Selah. Assyria, that's progress. Syria is a step up, step forward. Some believe it's in the right way. Some believe it's, it is what it is. We're going to find out. It may be the giant Tower of Babel altogether in itself. But they also joined with them. Assyria did, that Tyre, that great merchant city. And all of them together have been an arm to the children of Lot. Lot are those that are covered. It's that which is wrapped up tightly. They think they got it. We'll find out you don't got it. You ain't wrapped too tight, as tight as you think you are. But this arm is like a strength to them. This progress, this merchandising, all these. The sin of the world, basically, when we do it in the wrong understanding. When you got things in the wrong perspective, see, everything kind of becomes a parallel with that which is right, but it's wrong. Think about it, because, and see if it isn't so. 10. Do you unto them as unto Midian, as to Sisera, as to Jabin at the brook of Kishon. Do you unto them as unto Midian. Midian are the Midianites, and, they tried to tempt the children of Israel away with horrible sins. Midian means strife, troublemakers, these that cause trouble. They always have for the children of Israel since the day they came along. As to Sisera, and Sisera, remember, Sisera was those that were arrayed for battle, those that come down to fight against, but they was destroyed by the association. See, they was destroyed by the association. We're drawing those paradigms. That's that paradigm, that's that parallel, that's that model that we're using for the future, see, during this period of time when they've all come against God. As to Jabin, that's because we got to remember, God's watching. God sees. God is watching over these things. God's looking over all of it. It's all God's work from the beginning. These things at the brook of Kishon. The brook of Kishon, that's that place where the snares. See, that's that place of snares and traps. God's watching it. God's got it under control. We'll find out. They get taken in their own trap. They get taken in their own snare. They fall for what they created. They fall down and worship the God of their own works. They made it to destroy Israel. But it fell back on them. And 11, these were who were destroyed at Endor. They became as the dung on the earth. And they was destroyed there at that Endor. Endor is fountain, fountain. Endor, that's this fountain of time. Time, my friend, time. In the fountain of time. And that's that understanding that we can take a cool drink of, because in time they get what they got coming. That's what God does. And they become like the dung on the earth, the waste, the byproduct. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing unless you're going to use it for fertilizer later. 12. Make your nobles like Oreb and Zeb, and like Zabah and Zalmunna, all their princes. Make their nobles, those of their nobility, their kings, their princes, their rulers, their great understandings, you might say, that they've raised up. Make them like the raven, or like Zeb, like a wolf, like the raven or the wolf. The raven, he is darkness, and he's searching for places. The wolf is like a destroyer, a devourer, one that's not afraid to come up from behind, and to be cunning and sneaky. Zabal, Zalmunna, Zabal, these the two places. Zabal was like a sacrificial slaughter, like a slaughter that was for a sacrifice. Give it some purpose, give it some reason, make it cause some kind of understanding. Zalmunna, it's that shadow that's held back. It's that shadow. It's that little bit of darkness, that little bit of rest, that little bit of comfort, that little bit of place you can go. All their princes, all their rulers, all their mighty ones, because we'll find out God is over everything. This is God's earth. This is God's world. This is God's. And without Him, none of us exist. Nobody upon the earth. These are those that sin against God, These are those that keep continuing to do it. Keep continuing. And if you really want to know what they do, we got it right here. 13. Who said, let us take to ourselves in possession the habitations of God. And this is what they try to do. They try to take to themselves the habitations of God. These places where God dwells, they want to take over. You think you can bring your understanding in, your pathetic knowledge, your wisdom, your idol, and take over the understanding of God? God give you the law and the Torah and the knowledge, and anybody you bring up, they're going to be either slain by it or say it's true. They really don't have no choice. God made it so. God controls the lip of the prophet. There's nothing nobody can do. 14. Oh my God, make them like the whirling dust, as the stubble before the wind. Make them like the whirling dust, like this cloud of confusion, twirling and whirling around, dancing and singing. Oh, it's a joyful, great day to die. Like the stubble before the wind, like it's worthless. It's no good for nothing. Death is nothing good. We should be seeking life. 15. As the fire that burns the forest, and as the flame that setteth the mountains ablaze. As the fire that burns the forest, as the fire is that which consumes, the judgment of God. And it burns the forest. All these mighty that have exalted themselves, it's all, they'll be hewn down. That was the purpose. Or it's destroyed by fire. As the flame that setteth the mountains ablaze. Just like the wildfires that consume the hills, the mountains, these high places, it's like the judgments of God. They sweep across, utterly destroying. 16. So pursue them with your tempest, and affright them with your storm. So pursue him, and that, is a similitude. And that's how God's doing it. God's chasing them down. God's running them across the earth, across time, across this. And it's just like a storm, a great confusion, a great judgment. But we know there's some rain coming in it. There's a little bit of knowledge, a little wisdom. Because the lesson is what we got to get from the experience. 17. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek your name, O Lord. Fill their faces with shame. These things that they make plain, these things that they do. Lord, we know it's shameful. It's shameful. But let it be, turn it around, so to speak, and that they may seek your name. That they may look for God. It's a preparation, see. It's preparation so you can get some understanding later on. There's a generation coming. They're going to take up knowledge of God and wisdom of God and your understanding. It's the law. It's the Torah He gave you in the beginning, see. It's a very simple thing. There's nothing hard to do. 18. Let them be ashamed and affrighted forever. Yes, let them be abashed and perish. Let them be ashamed forever. Let them be affrighted at what they've done, Lord. Open their eyes and let them see it. Make known that which is plain before their eyes that they cannot see. See, God did that. God caused it. He hid it from you right in plain sight. Because God has the ability to give sight. God has the ability to open the ear. Let them be abashed and perish. Let them be abashed and perish, because that's what happens when you finally understand the truth, that then you're consumed within. Consumed within. And there is your witness of God, when you're consumed from within. God said, when I bring you out of your grave, you'll know I'm God. 19. That they may know that it is you alone whose name is the Lord, the Most High over all the earth. And it's so that you may know that God alone, whose name is the Shem, it is the name, that one who exists, that one who is always in control of everything. We see His works, we see His effects across time, not only in the creation, but in what men do. God draws these distinct parallels. It don't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. Just stop for a minute and think about it. Because He is the Most High over all the earth. Let's move forward. Psalms 84. Turn and return.